Okay, we're back for another Soulforge draft. Looking at this pack, Alolan Highlander is a card I don't really like just because, you know, it's bad most of the time. I think that requiring it to be the only creature you control makes it not very good. This is very obvious, but, like, even if you got to that position, like, you don't want to stay in that position, so that's what makes it as bad as it is. Restless Wanderers is one of my favorite silly cards for Constructed. It's not necessarily actually good. Cinderfist Brawler is okay, but it doesn't necessarily level up well. Warmonger Mod is probably worse than just the +3/+3 kind of buffs. So, we've got Seismic Adept, and we've got Zerath. Zerath is less cute than the original version of Zerath, which gave things Death Touch, but it's just a solid creature with decent stats and a relevant ability. However, Seismic Adept, I think, has a more useful utility ability. So, okay, so we've got. Looks like the game really wants us to go Necreum here. The alternatives, we could take Heavy Artillery, although it does feel a bit worse than both Meraphine and Ghastly Touch. I suppose the question is, do I like Alolan enough more than Necreum to play it here? I do like Necreum just in a vacuum and personally, but as far as in draft, I feel like Necreum combos with Utera much better than it combos with Tempest. I think I'm going to go based on that and just go into Alolan here. Just kind of forcing it based on things I like. For example, Forge Plate Sentry. Sentry is definitely strong this year. It's just a good, solid thing. Hopefully I can get good late game cards for Alolan and good early game stuff for Tempest to keep us alive. Obviously, I'll have to be able to level Alolan stuff, but things like the Hellhounds can keep the board controlled a little better so that you can survive until the later game. Vault Technician is a very good creature here. It's one of the relatively rare Alolan 6-power creatures. Stonefist Giant is good enough in rank 2 and 3 that I will take a relatively weak level 1 body. Okay, here. Nargath Bruiser and Matrix Warden are definitely the two strongest creatures here. Matrix Warden counts as one of those 6-power creatures, but it also gives you the option of moving the rest of its power onto something else. These two are very close, but I think Matrix Warden has a slight edge, actually. Although, actually, Nargath Bruiser is very good with armor, because giving something extra toughness when it's got armor is a very useful ability. I'm going to go ahead and take it based on that. It can help keep a Forge Plate Sentry alive, for example. Vault Technician versus Nexus Pilot. I think Nexus Pilot is enough of a better body, and we don't have anything else fighting over the middle lane. Flame Speaker is probably even worse than Forge Guardian Alpha. Pyre Song is becoming a channel favorite in that I've drafted with it on here and had a lot of fun. It's just not necessarily good. So Nexus Pilot here. Okay. Of these, it's between Electronet and Jetpack. Net can be mediocre removal, but I think I'm going to take Jetpack. It has some combos, and it's just it can let you trade up sometimes, although it takes a card to do it, and it can also just let you move to get in damage. Alright, Technosmith is very nice for leveling up some of the things that we're going to want late. Sparkblade Assassin is fine at level 2. Okay. This is actually kind of interesting. Steel Shaper Savant is the worst of the Savants, however, we do have a very Alolan-centric deck. Avalanche Invoker is very good in a Tempest heavy deck. I think it's definitely the most powerful card here, but this deck is not Tempest heavy. Um, I think as a result, my pick here is actually Flamestoke Shaman. It is a reasonable body at all levels. I think it's kind of underestimated by some people, but it's just I think it's going to be more likely to be useful than Steel Shaper Savant, even with the Tempest Heavy deck. Okay. I would be interested in picking up a Metasite. The question is this the correct time? Rhymehorn Charger is a card that levels poorly, but is very good at level 1, and okay at 2. This is one of the cards that I was talking about to help a slow Alolan deck survive. Ashurian Mystic is fine, but I feel like it kind of goes counter to what the rest of the deck is trying to do, which is survive until it can win late game. So Metasite works well with what we're trying to do, but I think Rhymehorn Charger I'm going to take just to keep us alive. Flamestoke Shaman, again, is just a good body that can help trade. We do have a jetpack, so Glacial Colossus gets a bit better. It's also another way to kind of try to keep alive. Zephyr Mage is just a reasonable creature, so that's the question. I could see this being either way, but I'm going to try out the Zephyr Mage. I haven't gotten to play with it as much as I'd like. Water Walker's a mediocre creature, but again, I'd rather have heavy creature than not. Okay. Pulse Mage I really want to like. It often can at least trade, so it's not the worst. It's bad if you're behind, though, because you kind of need to be able to block, and the blocks aren't great since it won't be able to use its ability the first turn. Pyresong is tempting here, but I really like Metamind Adept. It's just a decent creature, and it can help us draw to the things that we want to play most. So it kind of helps smooth out bad draws. I do not like Aegis Conscript very much, but it's that versus Electronet. I think I'm actually going to take Electronet over it, despite my creature preference. We have very few spells, so I think that we've got room for one. Okay, Sparkbot is a pretty mediocre creature. Sparkblade Assassin is very good at level 2. We already have one Assassin. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Metasite, despite those both being reasonable cards. Alright, I actually like Scipion Augmentation much less than most people. However, I think that it's better than these other cards. Although Aquatic Embrace is particularly good with creatures with armor. One thing that is kind of concerning is that we don't have many of the good creatures with armor. Like, we only have one... where is it? One Forge Plate Sentry. And we actually haven't gotten much in the way of late game cards, actually. Stonefist Giant is very good. Nargarath Bruiser is fine, but we're kind of lacking there. So hopefully the last third can get us there. So Jetpack versus Water Walker. Again, Water Walker is a mediocre creature that gets to be decent in rank 2. I think there's a slightly higher chance I'll play Jetpack. Okay, how aggressive is our deck? We've got these Shamans. The Charger can actually be kind of aggressive. We might actually be on a more aggressive plan. That means that the Mystic would be more likely to be good. Really, there's nothing else here besides the Electronet, and we already have one, so I think I'm going to take the Mystic, and we'll see. I did pick up double Jetpack, so that makes the Colossus much better. However, it also does the same for Rift Flasher. Rift Flasher doesn't level particularly well. I think I'll go ahead and take the Glacial Colossus. It does help keep us alive until we can get off like a sentry or something. And the jetpacks mean that it's okay late game. Alright, War Charger is something that we've really been wanting. It's almost as good as a Forge Plate Sentry in late game. Force Field is pretty bad, but it can make trades favorable, so there are times when it's worth it. Magma Hound is perfectly fine. Okay, we still don't have much that we necessarily need to get to the late game. Are we aggressive enough to play another Charger and just go for it? Because otherwise the question is Technosmith. Technosmith is very good for value, but it's very slow in level 1. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Technosmith. There's a chance that could be wrong, but... I feel like our deck is going to be particularly powerful in rank 2. Things like having the Technosmiths to get a more consistent rank 2, an Assassin, a couple of just decent creatures for it help. This is between another Assassin, which is, again, super good at rank 2, Rhyhorn Charger, or Mystic. With double... what is it called? Sorry, after a long day at work, my mind is blanking on card names. Double Technosmith, we have a very consistent shot of getting Assassin up. We could also do Mystic, just because our deck does have a lot of reach. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Assassin. We've got double Flamestoke Shaman, so there's a reasonable chance we can give an Assassin haste, which is, again, quite good. Steel Shaper Savant is okay here, just because we continue to have fairly heavy Alolan. Again, I don't like wasting my level 1 playing buffs, even if they get free later. It might be worth it, especially with things like the Technosmiths. The question is a Steel Shaper Savant more likely to help us get the get value? It is extra nice to put that armor on things like Rhyhorn Chargers and some of these big creatures. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Sipient Augmentation. Ouch. Don't really want to see a full spell hand. Aerial Surge, however, can be very good in the late game, so I'll take it. Electronet is removal. This deck feels mediocre, but it's what we've got. It seems okay. I just definitely wish we'd gotten 2 to 3 more of the strong late game Alolan cards like Sentry and War Charger. So we'll keep going.